Personally, what I'm feeling is whenever I read in the newspapers about landslide happenings in the hills or a drought happening in Maharashtra, sometimes the floods are happening, sometimes droughts are happening, famines are happening. We are having everything in extremes, and this is because we've been so negligent about our environment. I mentioned a thing like landslide. Why do landslides happen? Landslides happen in the hills because the hills, the rocks, the mud all over on the hills, which is bound by the roots of the trees, are not there. Why? Because the trees are not there. When the trees are not there, the muds are not formed. So whenever it rains slightly, also you have landslides, and this disrupts the entire hilly part of it. Second problem, what will happen when the trees are missing? The trees and the roots used to act like absorbers, sponge absorbers. So when the rains would come, they would absorb all the water, and gradually the water would trickle down to the plains and we would get water throughout the year. Now what happens is the rains come, there's a flood, there's landslides, and the plains are flooded, and when the rains are over and the floods are there, there's no further water coming and we have droughts. So we have to be very, very cautious about one single aspect, trees, and plant as many trees wherever we are. Whether we are on the plains, whether we are in the hills, whether we are in the deserts, whether we are in urban centers or rural areas. Let's plant trees. We don't have to look to the government for that. We can do it ourselves. Wherever we are, wherever you get a chance, let's prevent cutting of trees and let's plant trees. This is one aspect of environment. Second aspect of environment is, let's be a bit careful about how much fuel we burn. The fuel we burn is, I'm not a scientific person, but I understand the ozone layers on the top of us, the blanket, the covering, the insulation that is being provided to us by the atmosphere. The fumes or the heat that we are generating from here is burning holes into that, and the holes that is burning into that is making our earth vulnerable. Vulnerable to what? Vulnerable to heat coming from outside. What outside? The sun. And if we allow this fossil fuels to go on burning without any hindrance, without any check, we may be causing an irreversible damage to the atmosphere. So one is the trees, and the other is how do we use the fuels. And second aspect is, if the natural fuels gets all used up, what will we use next? So there are a few things which we as individuals can contribute to it. Government can do, yes, society can do, yes, but we as individuals also. Let's be careful whenever we get directives, how to use the fuels, what kind of fuels to use, how do we conserve energies, let's do that. When we can plant trees, let's do that. And water. Yes, there's no scarcity of water all over the world, there's plenty of water. But the problem is, how do we use the water? Water has to be potable, water has to be transported. What we get is the water which has been transported after use of lot of resources. So let's use this water which has been transported carefully, rationally, so that all of us, people who are not so well off, can also use the water. And whatever water comes our way, if we are living in a society, let's conserve this water by things like rain harvesting. Very, 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 I would say, judicious use of the water. So whatever little water we get, it's used by all people of society, everyone, whether we are rich or poor, everyone needs water. And let's use it judiciously. Let's conserve the water that comes our way by rain harvesting, whatever methods we need. First of all, like these young people have started off an awareness, let's start getting aware that we also need to contribute something to this. Let's not wait for someone else, let's not wait for society, let's not wait for MLAs, MPs, corporators and governments to do it. Let's do it ourselves. Let's all join in and at least understand what is the problem with the environment. Let's understand that. Once we understand the problem, probably we ourselves will come with solutions. I wish you all the best. All the best, why? For the future generation. Thank you so much.